I've just realized that meat has a calming effect. And it's a stress reliever.
It's a stimulant.
Stress reliever.
Mm-hmm.
So you telling me to get off of meat, it's stressing me. Okay, that was it.
Every time you put in something, just know you're investing good or bad for tomorrow. Today's health was maintained weeks, months, years ago. Mm-hmm. So how I feel today depends on what I put in yesterday, what I put in last week, what I put in the month before.
This is a new meeting point for people all over the world to gather for healing and ultimate wellness through the solutions provided in our conversations. Welcome to Wellness with Lilly. Is it true that you can avoid cancer, diabetes, heart disease, and many other chronic diseases just by saying goodbye to your dry fry, nyama choma, beef burger, or that juicy chicken curry you love so much? And if this was so, would you take the chance? For most of us, it would still take a lot of convincing. Our guest today has not only successfully treated numerous cancer patients without chemo or conventional medication, but also champions the power of vegetarianism in fighting a range of chronic illnesses. I can't wait to hear about his journey of being vegan for more than 30 years. It's an absolute pleasure to welcome Dr. Richard Saningo, the founder of New Start Health Incorporated. Dr. S. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
And thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome. Interesting show today. I mean,
yeah.
The topic is...
vegan for 30 years. Have you ever relapsed?
No.
Tell the truth.
No. Once I stopped. And the longer you stay in that state, the better you reap, the better benefits. Mm-hmm. You hardly get sick. Once in a while you get, down with a cold or something, but you're never worried about getting sick at all. So there's so many benefits.
What made you start? What triggered you?
Before this, I was a sickling.
Oh.
Yes.
How so?
My background is very, being a Maasai, raised as a Maasai. People who eat a lot of meat and blood and, take raw blood mixed with milk and stuff.
Yeah. Like full-blown animal products.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
So I had, and then I lost my father pretty early, at a very early age. Mm-hmm. And stresses, a lot of stresses, poverty, lack of this, lack of that. Deficiencies, and I developed a lot of acidity, which led to stomach ulcers, duodenal ulcers. I had multiple ulcers, and that was chronic, and it was very, very difficult to forge forward as a young man. And as usual, you go to hospital, they give you the same thing,
always
that you get.
Yeah.
So that didn't work very well because, it gets to a point where they don't work at all. Mm-hmm. So in my pursuit of life and wanting to achieve my dreams, I did a couple of things through school here and there and tried different professions. I started electrical engineering.
Electrical engineering.
Exactly. You won't believe it.
That's the complete other side of the room.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
Finished that, worked a little bit. I thought that was not my lot. Had all the knowledge, tucked in the certificate and went on to do other things. I tried business management and got there and got into the world of business. Eventually, I'm getting to meet a lot of people who are also in the same space, chronic conditions.
Oh.
Here and there, gastritis and ulcers and acidosis and all. Long story short, I ended up subscribing for naturopathy or alternative medicine studies. I had an opportunity to get out of this country. Of course, it's not training. There wasn't training. Even now, I don't think there is any formal training in any college in this country or even in Africa.
Is there a licensing for...
In this country?
Yeah. If there's no training, then there's no...
Very interesting licensing. You laugh at it. In Kenya, you are licensed under sports, culture, and those ministries of culture. It's regarded as mitishamba.
Daktari wa Zanzibar.
Bas, you know. So that's a kind of docket that will be absorbing alternative medicine in this country. It's not there's been efforts here and there over the years to try and merge alternative medicine into Ministry of Health, but it's never really taken off. There were a lot of seminars, which I've been integrally part of those seminars and government initiatives and stuff, but it's never taken off. We had to get there. As I went out, I met a naturopathic doctor practicing. I went to see him because of my condition, and he prescribed and said, hey, look, I would advise that I suggest that you stop this and this and this during your treatment. And once you're well, you make a decision whether you want to go back. But essentially, this is what is making you maintain this condition. It was started by many other factors, yes. Could be stress, blah, blah, and particularly the same kind of diet. But if you stop, then you'll see the benefits of that. From that time, bang.
You never
went back.
To go back.
Never went back. And since that time, I went on and started my practice, and came back home after some time as well, and brought up my family as vegans. And you can imagine many years of that.
I'm imagining that when you're going through a crisis, you will want to relapse. Did that ever happen?
Never. Out of knowledge, when you're convinced about something and you've seen the benefits, most of the time it's very difficult to relapse, even if it's a very enticing habit. Reason overrides and you decide this is it. So never relapsed. I have never had any cause for that. There's been cultural pressure, surrounding pressures from family and extended family members and my tribesmen, and so we come and visit them and say, what do we give you? So you're always a nuisance. What are you gonna eat? Here comes this kaswara great kid. Go and visit your auntie, your grandma, or something like that. Oh my goodness, this kid, what are we going to give you? So what are you going to eat? So, and I always find a way to make it easier for them. I'll probably be carrying something for them and stuff. And part of those things are the things I eat. And so, he's brought something to eat.
But actually, we eat veggies all the time.
You'll be so surprised. I have more choices than a person that eats animal products. You have a lot of choices. Can you imagine all the plant foods?
There's a lot.
There's a lot. All you need is variety and going for that. But you see, people have this thing of habitual, cultural, and you stick to it, and it becomes really your character. But if you decide to, widen your spectrum and eat tubers, grains, and vegetables, and fruits, and there's so many things to eat. Some of them are labeled, this belongs to this race, that belongs to that race. We don't eat this. This is Indian. This is Japanese.
Right.
This is this. But when you are ready to try out everything else, you have more variety than ever, and your life becomes more cheaper. It's cheaper because you have so many things to eat, and again, it becomes an advantage because you get a wide range of nutrients from everywhere.
I wanted to share something interesting from my newborn child's journey. So when my child was newborn, my pediatrician advised me to take dill seeds and not njahe. He told me black beans. He told me that the black beans would give the child colic, but the dill seeds would do the same work of generating milk. And then that's where I stumbled on chamomile tea. he said, take lots of chamomile tea and dill seeds. You'll have milk and your baby will be calm. So the reason I'm not very sure about chamomile tea, though, is because my baby was calm, but people would tell me that when I wasn't there, he wasn't calm. So I don't know. I don't know if it was me or the chamomile.
Both. Both.
Yeah, so I just found that a very interesting angle that many people don't talk about. Your thoughts?
Our relationship with children are very intricate, complex, and natural. When you're a parent showing love, showing harmony, showing protection, showing good feelings, good vibes, when you show these virtues, they absorb and they want to be attracted. Everybody wants to be in that safe space. And so your child is more comfortable around your aura. And don't forget, we have negative energy or positive energy that we exude, and we unaweza paka mtu, you so your child is always around you, and there's that confidence they get. That one in itself is a calming effect. Okay. And that is a calming effect even with your spouse, a friend, a workmate, anybody. Once you have that positive energy that you're confident, being polite, of being gentle, of being caring, and everybody wants to be near you unless they just have a little shetani flani, which is just repellent to that in itself, which is rare. Yeah. Even evil people have that gap and that space that they need filled up of love and belonging and that kind of thing. So chamomile is proven as a plant to have ingredients and medicinal properties that help you to relax, to be calm. But you can give the same amount to 10 people and they react differently depending on the chemistry, levels of stress, levels of assimilation and absorption. So yes, it could have worked two ways, the calming effect for your baby.
Okay.
So yes, we can take certain things that we are told when you take this, you get this. When you take, for example, simple thing, kale, sukuma wiki. Don't cook it too much. 3 minutes, remove it when it's still crunchy. Spinach, when it's still, uncooked.
Yeah.
Not well cooked. Just steam it a little bit.
I want it well cooked.
Yeah, then that way you produce volatile oils, you kill all the antioxidant properties.
Volatile.
There are very toxic oils that are normally locked up in most plants, which are not supposed to be released until the catalyst is heat. So the more you cook vegetables, the more you destroy all the good things and you remove that unwanted stuff that usually would pass through the gastrointestinal tract without harming you at all and get out together with the fiber. So you could take these vegetables I'm talking about and you get enough milk. You could take the njahe or the white black-eyed, is it the black bean that is white-eyed?
Yeah.
And it gives you more milk. Some people take just cocoa, dark cocoa or refined cocoa, and they get more milk. It will give you other side effects that are undesirable. Otherwise, usually, naturally, you should be able to have enough milk for your child. But what makes you not give enough are factors around you that make you not produce enough milk. Could be stress, could be a lot of worry, it could be issues with your anatomy and physiology.
Yeah.
Maybe you're sick, you're having infections, or unfinished businesses within your health issues upon gestation. So there's so many accusative agents that would be encouraging you not to give enough milk, and so therefore they have to look for something else to excite that. And the best way is to relax, deal with any gastrointestinal tract issue that you'll be having. Most of the time, at that particular time, people are constipated. Release constipation and drink lots of fluids.
Yeah.
In fact, for some people, I know a certain tribe, I wouldn't say it here on camera, but they just take a lot of uji.
Yeah.
Wimbi uji. And milk, you could supply the husband, children, and so much milk happens. So those are the things that happen. But I would say clinically, the most important thing is for the lactating mother is to be in that space where nothing is bothering you.
Yeah.
And if your health is good, you don't need a catalyst for you to give enough milk for your baby. You have enough milk.
You had said something off camera that you once planted chamomile, and why that struck me is because now there's just about anything you want on the shelf, and I'm just wondering, how do I know which one is potent and which one is not? Which one works? Which one?
Pretty hard to know what is potent on the shelves, because some of these things are imported, some are packed locally. You don't know how long it has stayed. The packaging itself, again, remember, with all herbs, packaging is very important. The more it's exposed to oxygen, they oxidize. And don't forget that there are chemical values that, once exposed to oxygen, it reduces the value, it reduces its potency. If it's encapsulated or at least packed in a non-breathing material, then it will stay longer. But what I see people do is visit a place that the shelf life of things, I like going to a place, a shopping place where I know things move, so they don't stay in the shelf for too long. And you know the resupply is fresh things most of the time. But when you're going to a place where there's dead stock, it's been there for a while, they're always wiping dust outside. You look at the expiry date, oh my goodness, it's nearly expiring. Then you know it has stayed for long before. That's why manufacturing date is also most important than the expiry date itself. Because when you look at the expiry date vis-a-vis manufacturing date, the manufacturing date tells you when it was packed and how recent it was. So therefore, you know, even if it's not been packed properly, there's very little time that has been there for oxidation or diminishing its power. So therefore, it's important that you put into play all these factors when you buy. When you have a chance to plant some things, if you have a little garden somewhere, or maybe your backyard, or flower pots in your balcony or kitchen window, there's no excuse for anyone, even if you're in a one-roomed house. You have a window sill and you can place a little pot that you always put. You have responsibility to keep that plant going. And you plant a little whatever you want. If it's chamomile, then you can plant it. Although chamomile it tends to become a bush. So, but you can always do that, and you have fresh supply. For those that are able to put it in a backyard, in a garden or something, it's always good to have a plant of your own where you harvest and you prepare it and place it in a container where you know the shelf life. You already know for yourself and the potency. So the most important thing is to know that things expire. Things lose their potency as time goes by, and whether they're exposed to elements, oxygen, water, moisture, light, and stuff like that.
A lot of people have pain here, pain there, and the go-to is pain meds. I'll just go get a paracetamol. They ask you, do you want extra or advance? I don't know. Just give me whichever. They work the same. So how in your lifestyle do you advise pain management and just, undiagnosed, it's not serious, it comes and goes, like a migraine on Monday, the next time I'll get it is next Friday?
That's a question that you would get in health seminars. I do health seminars where I arrange for conferences and people can ask as many questions. It's like free consultation for you, and you get to learn a lot of things out there.
This is a seminar.
That is like a question from, I would imagine that's one of the questions from the audience. People want quick fix.
Yeah, 100%.
All the time, you need quick fix.
Yes. I don't want to plant the camomile.
I know.
Wait for it to grow before I can finally
Absolutely.
take it.
What you eat is what you are. How you live is how you become. There's an old medical adage that was coined by the father of medicine, Hippocrates. He said, let your food be your medicine, and let your medicine be your food.
Yeah.
Every time you put in something, just know you're investing good or bad for tomorrow. Today's health was maintained weeks, months, years ago. Mm-hmm. So how I feel today depends on what I put in yesterday, what I put in last week, I put in the month before. How it will affect me depends on what chemical, what substance, what toxin, what metal, whatever I'm ingesting, it will take years to act. If it's an amphetamine, it takes years. Amphetamines are things like nicotine, caffeine, tar, theobromine, and the rest. So they do not act like right now quickly, but they take time to get absorbed into your body, and they go and circle up all your nerves and the sheath. They settle in your lungs, it lines up in various places of your body and starts shutting down organs. And that's how chronic conditions are born. Depending on what you're eating, what you're putting in, and the amounts you're putting in. There are things that will act very quickly right now, and tomorrow you have, if it's a bacteria or it's a virus, and you have food poisoning, and you have, your health is not good today because yesterday you ingested something not very nice. Mm-hmm. So killing the pain, you could be having a headache, and you don't have an infection, but you didn't drink enough water yesterday, and you are dehydrated today, and you didn't sleep very well. And so therefore the body is saying, for crying out loud, can you give me a little bit of water? and the symptom is saying, headache. So you go for a paracetamol instead of having a glass of water. So sometimes you can just take 2 glasses of water, which is 500 ml, and the headache is gone. So you could be having a headache because of an imbalance of your blood, the viscosity of your blood is crazy. It's becoming thicker than usual, and the temperatures or the barometer is saying, hey, today it's a bit this and that. Your brain is soaked in 30% of your blood, which is 2%, and the rest of the body, which is 98% of the body, is soaked in 70%. So when your 30% of blood in the skull, inside, which is, your brain is floating inside blood. When it goes into 28%, you have a headache. 29%, you have a headache. If it's 31%, you have a headache. So it just has to balance out at one time. And what would cause that? Stress, lack of water, not sleeping well, so many other things. Mm-hmm. So some pain can come as a result of just bad food. Yeah. You didn't have enough food, and you have too much gas, too much of this created too much acid here and there, and you have pains. Yeah. What do you need to do? Drink lots of water, relax, try and exercise, drink juices, and you don't need a painkiller. Some pains could be headaches could be coming from too much sunshine. Been out in the sun for too long.
Yeah.
And you're not able to balance out that percentage I'm telling you. Again. So it's not always that you need to have a paracetamol. I'm not saying it is wrong to have a paracetamol, because sometimes that is something that will help you right there and there.
Yeah.
But always find out, what is it that is causing me to have this headache?
Yeah.
It could be a headache from a cold. You're having a flu going on. And, it's bacterial, viral, and stuff like that. Deal with that symptom, and the headache will go away. Headaches, most of the time, 95%, 99% of the time, are a symptom to say something is wrong somewhere else.
Or somewhere else.
Somewhere else. Could be the stomach, most of the time, the stomach.
Oh.
Most of the time is blood viscosity, blood pressure, low or high. It's something else, somewhere else, not the head. When it is persistent and you have migraines and it's not going, it's day in, day out, you're taking painkillers, you're drinking water, you're doing every other thing, then you need to check whether it's a tumor starting up, or maybe it's there's something else.
Yeah. Speaking of tumors, you've treated some over the course of your career.
Absolutely.
What's been your highest moment and your lowest moment?
Well, my lowest moments always in my career is when a patient is not towing the line, not obeying the laws of nature, not my laws. When you prescribe and you tell the person, do this and don't do this, because this will happen. And if you do this, this will happen. This is good for you. And because of habit and because of strong persuasions of wanting to, it could be cultural, it could be peer pressure, it could be family, it could be just liking, it could be just that demon called the palate. It's just standing at the palate there waiting for you to eat that thing that you really...
I'll tell you something. I've just realized that meat has a calming effect. And it's a stress reliever.
It's a stimulant.
Stress reliever. So you telling me to get off of meat, it's stressing me. Okay, that was it.
Sorry about that. You need to know all the ingredients of meat. The more you know what is made of, the farther away you'll go away from it. And what those ingredients will do to you in the near future and the long term, you will dread to eat meat. You will not want to eat meat ever again. But that aside, we'll talk about that in another forum or maybe later. But yes, tumors or cancers, arthritis, for example, diabetes, blood pressure, infertility, asthma, all these chronic conditions that people live with don't just happen. They just don't happen. They are caused by you.
What about genetics? I mean, I hear you on that, but sometimes it looks like it's also out of my control.
For a long time, science has taught that these are genetically motivated, or it's a dispensation where you're predisposed because your parents were blah blah blah. But how does that explain a lot of people that are getting it now and they don't have any parental history or lineage that has the same chronic conditions? So science is unfolding a lot of many other things that were not known then, or assumptions, quelling assumptions that were believed to be true science, and that is the only source of information or facts. It's not necessarily factual that is the only way people get, or because you are predisposed to inherited chromosomes and genes and stuff. But today, lifestyle is the main cause. And we know it was even then before. Only that very little research was done then in the scope that it has been done already. There were fewer people with the same things, but because there were fewer people who were indulging in lifestyles that would encourage cancer, diabetes, blood pressure, and the rest of it. So, and arthritis. So you find that today people are indulging more on carcinogenic foods, refined foods, sedentary lifestyles, whereby you are not really activating your body, you're not exercising, or you're not able to. You put on weight, more fat, more this, and you're eating lots of this refined foods. Get constipated most of the time. You're going to the toilet once a day while you eat once in a week, once in a month. I've had people who go once in a month.
How is that even possible?
It's possible. There are people seeking our services and they are not able to go to the toilet completely. And they're eating every day. Where is that all going? It's all just packing up and piling up in your gastrointestinal tract. Eventually, it will cause disease. You start having knee joint problems. You have ankle problems. You have circulatory problems. You have blood is not coming back from with veins as it is going with arteries. It's the exchange of lymphatic fluid and blood fluids. All it's not exchanging properly. You start having plaques all over the place. Not only are you having blood pressure high, you will also have low blood pressures. Stress levels go very high. You're unable to contain certain things because your threshold of even generating proper thought of certain situations you're not able to because of what you're engaging in and what you're eating. Now there are more pollutants. It's not only foods and drinks, it's what you looking at all the time. You know, what you're bombarding your brain, your 30 pictures per second stored in your subconscious mind. Screen time, how much screen time? People are having issues with their eyes. Their retina is giving in. People that can't see properly because looking at this blue light all the time. At night, it's all of the place is dark and you're having to look at your thing. You're on social media all the time, scrolling through. People having shoulder issues because of looking down like this all the time. You're looking at your phone. All these things are agents of bad health. And so chronic conditions are not just caused by a virus, a bug, a parasite. No. More than not, more likely, you are causing that by the way you live, the habits that we gather up. And that's how, when you come to our clinic, first thing that we do is not just to give you medicine. We're not interested in just maintaining the disease. To eradicate the disease, you have to take away the cause. And taking away the cause sometimes can be painful for you because it's already habitual.
Yeah.
So to take away the habit, we've got to teach you how to go away from your bad habits and reinvent you so that you're eating right, you're sleeping right, you are exercising right, you are looking at life, reminding you of the laws of nature, how the human body is supposed to survive. It is governed by rules. The Maker said, this is how you are to observe. This is how you will survive. Most of the time we're going away. When you make a car, or when you make a phone, or when you make anything, there are rules. You don't do this. When you have a camera that is looking at me right now, don't put that camera in water.
Yeah.
And then you decide one day, we need to give this camera a nice wash. Must inside Omo and a grind.
Oh no.
And when people understand why they have to stop meat, why they have to stop smoking, why he has to stop taking too much coffee, he's coming to seek a solution to the problem that is nagging him. They don't understand the problem that is nagging him or her is this cause, the habits that he has. And then you redirect him back to the habits and you're like, oh, a light bulb goes like, bang. He has that aha moment and they're like, oh. But there are common herbs that are they're good, they are viable, and you can buy as a like ginger is a herb and it's a specimen to cook as well. It's a spice and it's good for your gastrointestinal tract. It may not be very good for you when you have ulcers, so it quietens your nerves a little bit as time goes by. Eating raw salads is very, very good for people who are very acidic and all that. But you see, what we do, for example, for people who have full-blown gastric issues, you don't give one herb. It's not one herb. It's a combination in different proportions, different percentages, and you tailor it in such a way that for IBM, for example, irritable bowel syndrome, is a different combination for various herbs than gastritis, for example. Different combinations for someone who has stomach ulcers or intestinal ulcers. There are those ones that have that plus constipation at the same time. So you put in, it all comes out during the consultative stage. Because then not everybody who has ulcers have constipation. Some have loose stool.
Yeah.
Some may have this and that and don't have this and that. So you tailor it according to how they report the symptoms.
Yeah. Okay. So you were telling me about another.
Yeah, I was going to discuss about the prostate problem. This guy is over 50, is having challenges, and where they had gone earlier on, they're told you must have surgery so that we release the pressure, and then you can be able to do this. And he had known of someone else who went through that and didn't make it. Yet you were just sour, you go in there, and of course there are people who go for surgeries and they make it and they come out and stuff like that, but then there's a repeated one after a relapse.
Yeah.
And then he didn't want to go through all that ordeal and stuff and chancing, and so he was told about alternative ways, and I had this call, and the guy walks in the office. After a consultation, I tell him what to avoid. We go through the list. Stop that, stop that, stop that. Start this, start this, start this. And I explain why. You don't just say stop, do. I explain lengthily. And they ask questions and they get convinced. And they see the reason, actually. And when people are educated and they understand some of these things, then they can put 2 and 2 together and see 4. They go, oh, well, yeah, let me go try this. Here's the medication. Go take this for 1 month and report back, and let's see what's going on. In 1 week, they're already releasing urine.
Oh.
In a month's time, they came back and said, wow, this is unbelievable. So I said, let's go through back the test, and then we go and do your PSA level. Doing the PSA level, it's come back to normal. I said, now look, this is very good. You don't have to continue with medication now, but you have to continue with lifestyle. That lifestyle I showed you, let it be a prescription for you. Can you try that for about 6 months or 8 months or even a year, so that you don't have a relapse? Because you have a tendency to store up all these things that we have detoxed and removed in your body, and so therefore the swelling went away and your prostate has come back, your PSA levels are all right now. You have a tendency, or rather you're more susceptible to having to go back to that state if you continue with your previous lifestyle. So can you maintain? And they maintained. Guess what? They're good. And I can tell you tons and tons and tons of situations like this where patients obey. They take the simple remedies. They take a route of having to change their lifestyle, and arthritis is gone. Diabetes is reverted back to normal. Your pancreas start working. Your blood pressure is okay. Your pulses come back to normal. And let me tell you, nothing is impossible under the sun. You know, there's an old medical adage that goes, there is no incurable disease on planet Earth. But why don't people get well? Wait, there are millions of incurable people, not diseases. You get it now?
It's a mind thing.
Not just mind. It's adherence to the rules of nature. Going back to settings. Go back to nature's settings. Do what is right. It's amazing the way the body will get out of that space where you're abusing it every day and day, until a place where it says, I can't take it anymore. And guess what? It is because you're refusing to say, mimi nyama siwezi wacha. Ni tamu sana.
Wait.
I can't. Wait. I know where you're going right now. But you see, the moment you know what it does to you in the short term and the long term, and you love this vessel that God said it is the indwelling part of the Holy Spirit. This is not yours. You're just a steward.
You have been completely vegan, like off of animal products. Does adherence include reduction from every day to once a month? Is that good?
You see, we're all different.
Yeah.
There are people like me, and many of them, who will say enough is enough, damn, bam, cut. And you start off anew. You goof, you make mistakes here and there. By the time you understand about variety, you understand about deficiencies and blah, blah, blah. How do you replace protein and nutrients and carbohydrates and vitamins, all that. There are people who will say, I want to stop. I know I must stop. I am convinced I must stop. However,
I want to stop.
However, I still have 5 kilos in my freezer.
Also
and
that.
I still have a few kilos in the fridge. So for transition of the freezer into the fridge and to the kitchen, I invested quite a bit of money. Can I stop slowly? And then you give yourself permission to go slowly and finish surely, but not returning. And knowing that it's an addictive, meat is addictive. So you decide, you have a decisive mind that I'm not buying anymore. And from there, you stop slowly by slowly. Those people have a disadvantage because it's so difficult to stop. At one point, you get to a point you increase again, and then you go slow, and then you increase again. It becomes a cosine wave. So there are those that will manage to stop eventually. And they come out from meat, they stick with chicken, and they come out from chicken, they stick with fish, and then eventually leave off fish totally. There are people who just cut out meat, and they go into white meat. And the white meat, they continue reducing slowly by slowly. But when you have a chronic condition knocking at the door, and you're told uric acid must go, phosphates must go, nitrites must go, nitrates that are in this food must go, all the creatine that you're gathering from external sources must go. When you have a kidney condition and you're told by your doctor, you must stop this, you don't say, let me do slowly by slowly. You will stop because it's a death. It's a life-threatening. You see? So diet, and that's when you realize that, oh, if this can be told to a person that it is life-threatening, and it is true, it's life-threatening because their organs are already failing, or they're already in a position where they're not functioning properly, then why do I have to keep taking this stuff that is not good? Can I stop just immediately poisoning with this sweet poison? Stop poisoning my body with this sweet poison. And there you are, and you just stop it. I'm taking a lot of salt. Can I cut my salt so that I don't have to accumulate all this sodium chloride in my vessels and they become brittle? And you cut slowly by slowly, and you shift into sea salt, which is more healthier for you. And just a little gives you that taste that you want. Slowly by slowly, and you eventually get out of all these things. And you know what? As we're discussing chronic conditions, remember that the human body has got excretory organs.
Excretory organs.
Organs that take away refuse. You're made in such a way that whatever you put in inachaguliwa, everything that is unwanted or that is not useful is discarded. Men have 5 excretory organs. Women have 6 excretory organs. 6. And I'm sure some people would be asking now, is that why women live longer than men? I mean, there are more widows than widowers.
Yeah.
Partly, yes. Partly. Every day, and as we sit here right now, my kidneys are working, your kidneys are working to remove all this stuff from the bloodstream that is not supposed to go back into the body, it is all filtered out and taken to a little bag called the bladder to wait until when we get a break and then you want to go and pee.
Yeah.
All these are ingredients that the kidney can be able to remove from your bloodstream. The liver does the same thing. As we sit here, the liver is detoxifying your body. The bloodstream that is in and out of the liver, in and out of the liver, is being detoxified and removed of all things, and it stores most of these toxins in itself to remove later into the gastrointestinal tract, the GI. The skin is sweating as we speak and letting off some gas,
Yeah.
some odor,
Oh, some gas.
some odor
Yeah.
through, did I say odor?
I heard you. But I was stuck on the gas. Is it I mean, I get the odor from the sweat, but the gas?
Yes. Odor is smell, and smell is gaseous.
Okay.
All right? The skin excretes through pimples, through all this unwanted matter
Yeah.
through the skin. And that's why you have a dirty shirt sometimes, or when you have clothes and you see that they're dirty, it's been absorbed from the skin. Your lungs are doing the same. As you breathe in and out, it's not just carbon dioxide, it's the refuse. There's so many other gases that find their way into the alveoli, into the little sacs in your lungs, and they are able to get out from. Some of the bad odor that people have in their mouths is not necessarily from just gums. Mm-hmm. It could be out from the body.
Yeah.
It could be from the stomach, it could be from your lungs. You're breathing out stuff that is terrible.
Yeah.
It's toxic gases that are as a result of many chemical processes that are going on in various parts of your body. And for the women, every 28 days, there's a menstruating. They're menstruating. So every menstruation is different. Mm-hmm. Every menstrual period is different texture, different odor, different color, different material. Some come with clots, some without. Deep red, dark red, bad smell, no smell at all, just blood. With cramps, no cramps. Every month is different. Why? Because of what has been happening in the last 28 days. What has been loaded onto that area. It's been taken. Chukweni mzigo, peleka huko kwa wumbu. Leteni ingine, peleka huko. So,
utter stress.
Yes, all that.
Yeah.
So, after 28 days, when you've gone through a very bad month and you've eaten a lot of bad foods and junk and all that, and you have very bad periods, and probably even longer, and heavy,
painful.
And painful. After that, you feel relieved. That month, you probably have a visitor coming to visit you, and they're staying for a month, and they are vegan like me, and they're asking for salads all the time. Or they even bring in more food as you share. And that month you end up eating more vegan because of association, not because of habit. And because you are you're working together with this person and you're having to engage in their lifestyle once in a while, you're eating your meat and all that. But that month you find that your periods are a nice red, kidogo spotting, and within 5 days you're done. You didn't even notice when they got finished, or when they started. You're like, oh my goodness, girl, do you have a pad? I don't even. You understand what I'm saying? Oh.
Yeah. That's exactly it.
Yeah, and you realize that month was wonderful. I wish I could have my periods like this every month. The following month, that person goes, and then you go back into your deep fries and your.
Yeah.
And the sausages and
back
all
to
that. And,
default settings.
That's crazy. So what we eat is what we are and what we become on a daily basis.
Thank you, Dr. S. I'm sure there'll be another chance to continue with this conversation. Where can the viewers find you? To
find me is so easy. I'm on phone, 0722 770-604. Hit me up on that line. I'll give you directions to where our premises are, and we shall be able to have. And with the wake of telemedicine, you don't have to cross the world. We can always do online consultations. It's possible. COVID made things easier, and treatment can be done even online. God bless you and thank you.
That was an insightful conversation. Let me know in the comments if you're going to go vegan, if you're going to try it, if you're going to consider it. Let me know if this conversation has given you some ideas in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do. And thank you for watching. Bye.